Well, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Little French Homestead. My name is Sherry. Yeah, you can see two of my daughters in the background. They were cleaning their rooms. They have some friends coming over tonight. And so I was trying to make this a fast, quick little dinner. My husband, after we left my mom and dad's, had really wanted to try to go to KFC. But I said, you know what? Let's go home. I have something better. So today I am going to recreate a KFC, the famous bowls that they do. Now, I had gotten some chicken breaded not thighs, chicken strips from Sam's and that big box. So I was going to head and lay them out. I forgot to turn the oven on, so it took me a while to remember. We are going to make it very simple. Instead of doing the real mashed potatoes, I'm just going to go ahead and use these. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible for me for this evening. If you would like to do real mashed potatoes, go right ahead. Or if you have some leftovers of mashed potatoes, go right ahead. So those ones there were roasted garlic, so it would give it an extra little flavor. And then I am making homemade gravy. So into the pan was about a quarter cup of butter, and it's going to be a quarter cup flour. And I have some homemade chicken broth that I had took out of the freezer about a week ago. So I knew I needed to use that up, and I was not warmly sure what I was going to use it for, but this actually worked out perfect. I've got a nice can of some corn going in. So everything is now going. And then I realized a few moments later, I was like, oops, I forgot to turn the oven on. So everything was ready before the chicken was, but not a big deal. Now you can go ahead and use a variety of chicken. You can use popcorn chicken. You can use chicken nuggets. You can actually do homemade breaded chicken if you wanted to. Also too, with the corn, you can do the canned like I have, frozen, or you can even do fresh. If you got some corn growing in your backyard, or you know a local farm that can go ahead and give you, buy off, you can do that as well. That would be absolutely divine. What I did is I heated up my chicken broth because, like I said, it was sitting in the refrigerator, so it did get a little bit congealed. So I wanted to make sure that it was fully warmed up. So when I poured it all in there, it wasn't going to go ahead and do cold gravy, cold, what am I trying to say? Cold broth into the gravy. You always also too want to add a little bit at a time when you go ahead and make homemade gravy or even a roux with the butter and flour. You want to make sure that you mix that thoroughly together. That way you don't taste any residual flour on it. And then when you add any type of liquid, whether it be milk, even water, or beef broth or chicken broth, you want to add a little bit at a time, mix it in, add a little bit more, mix it in, and then add whatever is remaining just to make sure that you get it all the way through. For the gravy, I let it get up to a little bit of a boil. I reduced it down and I kept stirring. The corn, obviously, you see there, is just going to cook together. When I am ready to go ahead and do the mashed potatoes, I take them off the heat. I got 2 of the small packages of the mashed potatoes. We do like to go ahead and add at least a couple of tablespoons of butter and some milk just to still give it that creaminess. I did add some salt and pepper toward the very end, and this was so simple. And also, too, if you wanted to, I did bake the chicken, but you could also, too, deep fry them in a little bit of oil if you want to go ahead and do that, especially if you were going to go ahead and cook them from scratch, bread them, add your flour and your panko breadcrumbs with your egg. That would be actually super delicious if you did it that way. And then you could have them nice and small bite-sized pieces already to go right in there. Now I do have some diced chicken that is in the freezer, but again, it was in the freezer and I did not want to take the trouble to have it sit in some water, thaw it all out, and then go and do that. We had this chicken here, so it was very simple. Like I said, we had the children coming over. We were very surprised after my husband and I came back from visiting my mother and my father. They cleaned the entire house down for us. So they vacuumed, they swept, and they mopped, and they cleaned their rooms, all because they had friends coming over. I think we need to do that more often. So then that way they clean more often. All right, so here we are now taking out the chicken. It is perfectly cooked. So I am just going to go ahead and start making up my bowl. We are going to add some mashed potatoes down to the bottom. I will add then a couple of pieces of chicken, some corn, and some gravy on top of that. I did not add any cheese on it. Nobody wanted it with cheese on it. And you could make some homemade biscuits too if you are there to go ahead and enjoy all the accoutrements that KFC offers. We chose just to have it like that. I just want to say this was really, really delicious. Never made this before. Everybody in the family absolutely loved it. I just want to say thank you so much for visiting my home today. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead, click share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll pop some other videos up on the side until my next upload. Bye, and keep on cooking.